Hi, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to the Event Industry Facebook Live. I am Jen Singer, the founder of the Event Industry, an online community for my event enthusiasts, planners, anybody who is out there planning big to even small events. So every week, if this is your first time joining us, I go live and talk about a event planning subject and answer any questions that you might have. So excuse me today, I'm a little bit hoarse. I have been having back-to-back events. I also, aside from providing this content for you guys weekly and stuff on the website, I also produce events for my own company, Jen Singer Events, and we've had a very busy few weeks, and it's taken a toll. So you might be in a similar boat with all the holiday parties or whatnot. So anyhow, I hope you're staying strong and staying healthy out there. If you do have any questions or you're struggling with anything or you want to give me any comments, you can email me at hello@theeventindustry.com. That's HELLO@theeventindustry.com. You can also get more free tools or tips, other videos that we've done in the past at theeventindustry.com, eventindustry.com. Okay, so what are we talking about this week? This week we are talking about event photography. Now, it is obviously a very important part of the event because there is, that takeaway that you really want to have. And obviously for weddings, it becomes like a very big thing, but even for corporate events, which is primarily a lot of what I do, it is equally as important. We had a corporate event earlier this week, and the client really wanted to have images that evening to send out in a press release. So being mindful or managing the expectations of photography like very thoroughly is crucial, not only for whatever type of event, whether it's social or it's corporate or it's a wedding. There's a lot of very similar elements to include, to manage, to make sure that you walk away with like what you're expecting. And I would emphasize that like the key role of an event planner is to manage those expectations from the client to all the vendors, whether it's the venue or the catering company or the photographer. Like it's your kind of role and responsibility to like manage the expectations so everything that they envision and hope for comes into fruition. Okay, with that, I have some key things that have really helped me, even like as coming as challenging times. There has been things that I've learned and I've integrated that I now utilize with all of the photographers that I manage, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Now, I do have some photographers that I go back to all the time that are great, and once we kind of like lay the groundwork, it's not like something you have to like reiterate on every single job, but that's why it's great to have vendors that love and trust, and I definitely have those. Photographers being one of them that you just know are going to produce like great looking photos. So that's not always the case. Sometimes you're working with a photographer that the client wants to use, and it's just really great to make sure that they're on the same page and that you're managing the expectations that you have kind of outlined with your own photographer. I've also had to go into new markets where I'm producing an event in San Francisco, and my go-to photographer in San Diego, obviously it's not cost effective to fly him up there. So okay, what is one of the first things you want to kind of outline? Number one, and this is going to seem really silly, but this has actually come up for me, so this is why now it's a thing. Number one, identify like the number of photos. And I've had photographers that have done like tons and tons of photos, and when it came up that it was a thing is working with a photographer that was the client's recommendation, and he came back and only gave us a very small amount of photos considering the length of time that he was there for the event, the length of the event. So make sure that you're having that conversation about the number of photos, and it really is representative of the duration of the event. Now, if you have like an hour and a half cocktail party or something that they're shooting, there's just so much that you can capture on that. But if this was an event that was a corporate event, and so there was some networking before, and then there was a panel discussion, and then there was a cocktail party afterwards. So there was a considerable number of things going on, and he came back with like a little over 100 photos that were edited, and really the expectation was more like triple that, or at least double, well over 200 that we should have had to choose from. There was not enough, the speakers and everything else, so we really just didn't capture that much. So having those clear conversations about the number of photos. The other element that you really want to outline and make sure it's in the contract is when will you receive the photos, the edited photos. So obviously you could get back the non-edited photos like right away, and there's some clients that have requested to get those like really shortly after the event and have them downloaded, and they just want the raw photos. Some photographers are not okay with that, turning over raw unedited photos, but every case is different. So anyhow, you want to outline like when are you going to receive the edited photos? What is that time frame, and identify a date post the event date. Then you also want to identify like how those photos will be delivered. Are they going to go in a Dropbox? Are you going to get a zip drive? Are they going to be in a shared drive? A lot of photographers now, it's great, have these online portals that you can access. One thing to be mindful of these portals though is that there's always an expiration date on your access to the photos, and they do like really like spell that out. But just something to be mindful of too is that if it's on like a hosted platform that's used by a photographer, they 99% of the time they expire. They're not there forever. They don't live there forever. The photographer's not going to host them there forever. So you do need to go in and download those, and make sure your client downloads those as well. Excuse me. Okay. So, yeah, where are you going to access this? How are you going to get those photos? The fourth point is, what do you want them to shoot? And I really encourage you to be very specific about this and call out some of these items that you want shot. You know, call out certain people, call out the food details if you want shots of the food details, and don't assume anything because you can't go back to the event and reshoot it. And that is the really like crux and super stressful thing about this photography, when you want to like make sure you manage this all in advance, because there's like no going back and trying to fix this when it's too late and the event's already over, or that person's already left and you didn't get a photo of them and all those things. So put together a shot list. In the post today, there is a link to a free guide of a shot list that I put together, so you can download that for free. And then my fifth point is, I would identify someone within your client or on your team that can be like the wrangler, and by that I mean someone that can walk around with a photographer and make sure those shots are getting done, because they're not going to know who, you know, Senator John Brown is, or whoever it is that's at your event, or whatever key people that you want to capture, or if it's the CEO of something, they are not going to know who those people are. A lot of times, even as a planner, like I won't know who those people are, and I'm not much of service because I don't know who they are, and need someone to kind of help point them out so we can make sure we get that right photo. So, silly cold today. All right, so here's the recap. Identify the number of photos that you want to capture. Be really clear about that expectation and get it in the contract. Also get in the contract, when are you going to receive those photos? Make sure that there is an explicit date of when you're going to receive those, so they don't just drag it on and don't get back to you. How those photos are going to be delivered, and be mindful of when that online portal will expire. Put together a detailed shot list before the event, and assign someone to help work with your photographer to make sure that that shot list is covered. Anyway, I hope that helps you with your next event. Have a great weekend, everybody.